Last night we discussed with Mayor Tom Henry how Fort Wayne is becoming more environmentally friendly. Well, tonight the discussion continues about what might happen if we don't do more. Meteorologist Caleb Saylor is in studio for part 2 of his discussion about the impacts climate change could have here on the city.
Good evening, everyone. One of the biggest discussions surrounding climate change is the impact it has on our weather. Now, scientists agree there's a relationship between the amount of carbon dioxide we've added to the atmosphere and the changing weather patterns we've seen. And if we don't do something about this number, we could be facing serious consequences. I'll detail 3 of those more closely. One of those consequences is more extreme heat. Data shows that while we've had some cooler than average years in Fort Wayne since 1959, they are less frequent. And on average since 1970, we've had more 90-degree days in Fort Wayne per year. And as we've spoken about before, heat is the #1 killer among weather-related phenomenon, so more deaths are possible. And warmer air leads to more moisture in the atmosphere, which could produce more flooding. That, combined with the issue of urbanization, puts many people in harm's way.
The more buildings we build, the more parking lots we build, the more parking structures we build, the less ground there is to absorb water. And that's been a real concern of ours for years now.
Fort Wayne has been proactive in combating increased annual rainfall rates, with Indiana being one of the highest in the country.
We bought a lot of property that is in a position now to go ahead and flood. So we have some areas in Waynedale and some other areas around some of the parks that are designed to hold water in the case of a high water event.
The third threat, and the one that worries Mayor Henry the most, the increase in tornado activity. Research from Dr. Victor Gensini and Dr. Harold Brooks shows tornado frequency has been increasing in the Great Lakes since 1979.
Fort Wayne's been very blessed in the fact we have not experienced very much tornado activity in the past decade or so. Just recently, there were a number of tornadoes that hit Indiana. Most of them were central and southern Indiana, but nevertheless, they were in our neck of the woods, if you will. And that worries me immensely.
And one of the solutions, one discussed at Mayor's Conference, is making buildings more wind resistant.
Many of our buildings in Fort Wayne are already there, but many of them are not, especially small businesses. So what we need probably to do is to take an inventory of as many buildings as we can to determine whether or not they are in a position to withstand the type of winds that tornadoes bring.
Mayor Henry admits Fort Wayne isn't perfectly climate resilient, and it takes everybody to make sure we're a little bit better prepared for what could impact us. Information on what small things you can do to help fight climate change, as well as links to some of the research, is in this story on our website, WFFT.com. In studio, Caleb Saylor, Fox 55 News.